The only people who put iced tea in Jack Daniels bottles is the Clash, baby!
It's Van Halen versus The Clash, and The Clash versus everybody at the US Festival 1983. What's up? I'm Robert Fithin, and with the pandemic going on and everybody social distancing, a lot of people staying home, and virtually no concerts going on, well, none except for virtually, I thought it would be a great time to try to relive the US Festival 1983. I'm not really relive because I wasn't really living it the first time, but getting as much video and audio as I could, checking it all out in order just like I was there, except for the 98-degree heat, and just watching all these great performances. Like I said, just like I was there. The US Festival happened twice. Once in 1982, once in 1983. It was an idea put out by Steve Wozniak, who was the guy that was in charge of Apple at the time. He had this idea to try to blend music and technology all together, have this big festival where you could check out new technology, try out some new things. This is back in like the early 80s, before, you know, there were personal computers in everybody's house and everybody had smartphones and all that kind of stuff, obviously. So we're just on the very forefront trying to meld those two worlds together. And, well, they lost $12 million trying to pull that off in 1983. So it was all really about the performances. And there were some incredible ones I found out. But this festival was split off into 4 days. There was the New Wave Pop Day. Then that was the Heavy Metal Day following that. Rock Day followed that. And then it wrapped up with Country Day, which was actually kind of added later on. It was originally just supposed to be a 3-day thing. So it all starts off with the New Wave Pop Day with the Vinyls. Now, there's not a lot of footage of these guys available. The Vinyls haven't had their hit in the U.S. I Touch Myself yet, or It's Fine Line, or Pleasure and Pain. They had a couple of hits in the U.K., but they weren't really known, so not a lot available about them. That's followed by NXS. While the Voodoo's in there somewhere, Oingo Boingo plays. So you got the Danny Elfman thing going on. He says something to the crowd about, you know, hey, woo, we're the 80s. Everybody cheers because it's the 80s. Also, Stray Cats coming out with Brian Setzer looking like he's about 5 years old. Some young Stray Cats there. English Beat was a part of that too, and it all wraps up with The Clash. Definitely more about The Clash later on, and Men at Work in there too. Putting on kind of a mediocre performance for those guys. Day 2 is the day that everybody loves. That's the day with all the bootleg video, all the official video available. That's Heavy Metal Day. And since it's the US Festival 1983 in sunny California, it is right there in the broad daylight, most of it anyway. So you get bands like Quiet Riot and Motley Crue looking young, energetic, all leathered out with the sun blazing on them. You get Judas Priest putting on one of their best performances, looking like they're having a lot of fun. Again, metalled out, leathered up, out in the broad daylight. You get Ozzy Osbourne saying, "The hell with it, I'm Ozzy Osbourne. I'm going to go ahead and be Ozzy Osbourne." You got to love Ozzy Osbourne. And then you have the Scorpions, which they looked like they were putting on a really good show. I can only find a few videos of those guys. You have Triumph for Heavy Metal Day, which after all the leather and all the rocking out and all the demons and the you know, looks to kill and the horns flashing, Triumph comes out and in their like light colored t-shirts, and she turns a little radio on. You know, does their song. Okay, they do have a few rock songs, but I would not call Triumph a heavy metal band to play on Heavy Metal Day. I guess Jethro Tull was busy or something. Heavy Metal Day, wrapping up with Van Halen. More on Van Halen when we talk about The Clash. Okay, let's move on to day 3, which was Rock Day. You had bands like the Pretenders, when a big transition for those guys, still putting on a great show like you can always expect from the Pretenders. Joe Walsh being Joe Walsh. This was like, what was 83? I guess he had like There Goes the Neighborhood was the album he had out at the time. So he had Life of Illusion, but not the greatest period for Joe Walsh, but you know, he's all right. He does a good job. Stevie Nicks being Stevie Nicks, twirling around, aloof. Where's the verse? Or is this the song? You got Stevie doing that similar to with the Live at Red Rocks. If you've seen the Stevie Nicks performance there, it's kind of similar at the US Festival. You've got Berlin. That was one of the most memorable performances of the US Festival 1983. Broad daylight again. Girl, it's 11 o'clock in the morning and on stage doing this. I mean, this was 83, so people were talking about, like, Madonna, and this is what's going on, man. You should have been paying attention to Berlin. Energetic show, too. Man, Terry Nunn giving it her all. I was not expecting such a great show from Berlin, but that was definitely one of the standout performances from the US Festival 1983. And U2 also played Bono, back in the day when you could still do this if you were Bono.
I want you bring up here.
Yeah, that's a rock star right there. I'm Bono. I want you. I don't think he does that anymore in concerts. Just drags him up by the hair. And, yeah, okay. Well, he didn't drag her up by the hair, but U2 at the US Festival '83 with the big hair on Bono there. You gotta love that do. And we wrap up the rock day of the US Festival, Sunny California, 1983, with David Bowie on Memorial Day weekend. No footage of this can I find anywhere. There's a couple of real quick news footage things of David Bowie, but I could not find the concert anywhere except for audio only. And by the way, if you want to relive the US Festival 1983, I've got the whole playlist at my YouTube channel, so you can just look for that playlist and then just click it, and it'll play everything in order, just as it happened with, I think it starts off with a news conference, and then you get the little bit of Divinals, a little bit of, who's after them, NXS. Some videos might not play in certain territories, but yeah, you can relive it too. Just click the playlist, and that's really all you have to do. It have to play them all in order for you, and just, be sure to set aside quite a few hours, because, it's a 4-day festival. But yeah, David Bowie put on a great show as far as I can hear, but unfortunately, I could not see any of it. I could not find any video footage of the David Bowie concert from the US Festival 1983. So that leaves one day left, and that's Country Day. Not a lot of footage for that either. The Alabama played. I can't find anything on that. Ricky Skaggs played. There's one little 2-minute video of that. Emmylou Harris, same thing. Hank Williams Jr. there's a little bit more of. He seemed a little aggressive. He comes out like he's got kind of an attitude. Changes a lot of the lyrics to his songs. Insults the Statler Brothers out of nowhere. Who the hell insults the Statler Brothers? Well, apparently Bocephus does that, because that's what he did. And what's really funny is when you look at the footage, if you see my playlist, you'll see right before Country Day starts, there's footage of a lot of the fans walking around, and they interview some of them. They interview one of the security guards there, and he's all like, yeah, it's the typical cliche, yeah, I came out here to be on Country Day. I wouldn't want to work Rock Day with all them long hairs and drugs, and I came out here to see Waylon and Willie and Hank Genius. Well, Waylon and Willie got more drugs on the bus than anybody here. And Hank Jr. come out, like I said, with a chip on his shoulder, talking about asses and sons of bitches and said shit. I'm like, damn. Good thing we didn't bring the kids. Good thing we brought them to Heavy Metal Day. You don't hear Judas Priest talking like that. Good thing we got some Waylon. He comes out, or is it Waylon? Waylon first comes out. I think that entire concert is available on DVD. Same thing with Willie Nelson. It's funny because Waylon does the song, and then Willie will come out and do the same song at his concert. I think there's a couple different songs like that. And then the one song where they're supposed to be together, you get a Willie version, you get a Waylon version, and then you get a version of Good Hearted Woman, as it should be, a nice duet. So you get it all in the little 2-hour span that Waylon and then Willie plays. And that, of course, wraps up not only Country Day of the US Festival 1983, but the entire festival. And again, a loss of $21 million. And that's just for 1983. So what was the deal with The Clash and Van Halen? Those are the two big stories from the US Festival 83. The Clash, this was the last time they would play together. This was it. And you could tell there was all this tension going on. There's all this backstory about the Clash with the US Festival 83, where they really didn't want to play it, but they were convinced to play it, and they were convinced at a certain ticket price. I think it was $17 would be the tickets. They later on, the ticket price was increased, and they were not happy about that. They tried to back out of it. They couldn't back out of it. They agreed to a certain amount. I think it was $500,000. They found out later the band playing the next night, Van Halen getting paid almost maybe double. They were not happy about that at all. So you have this animosity built up between the Clash and the organizers. A lot of it being dragged out in public before they even go on stage, before the concert before the festival even starts. So a lot of people know what's up. They come out. You could tell Joe Strummer is pissed. You could tell people just not in a good mood. It's been such a good vibe all day, partying, everybody's in the sunshine. Yeah, it's 98 degrees, but you can't really tell that sitting at home watching it. Everybody still looks like they're having a good time because that's what the cameras catch, you know. And so they come out, big banner, "The Clash is not for sale." You know, so then reportedly the production videos, whoever was not happy about that. So they replaced it with the literal check the Clash was paid for $500,000. They just put the check right up there on the stage behind them. They were not aware that was going on until the concert was over. It was only flashed up there for a few minutes, and I don't even have any video footage of that to show you. But apparently that happened. So it's just like back and forth, like, you know, just cat fight, you know, going on. Dog fight, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, Joe Strummer's on stage and doing a couple tunes, and then...
All right, then, here we are in the capital of the decadent US of A. This here set of music is now dedicated to making sure that those people in the crowd who have children, there is something left here for them later in the centuries.
Yeah, so here's a California audience that's been partying all day, and now we're supposed to get drinking all day, let's be honest, drugging all day, let's be honest, and now we're supposed to care and get political. It just wasn't going to happen, and the more it's not going to happen, the more Joe Strummer just gets more and more frustrated.
I know the human race is supposed to get down on its knees in front of all this new technology and kiss the microchip circuits. It doesn't impress me over much when there ain't nothing but a you buy, you make, you buy, you die. That's the motto of America. You get born to buy it. And I tell you, those people out in East LA, they ain't gonna stay there forever. And if there's anything gonna be in the future, it's gotta be from all parts of everything, not just one white way down the middle of the road. So if anybody out there ever grows up, for fuck's sake!
As I said before, this would be the Clash's last show. A lot of turmoil going on within the band, too. As a matter of fact, one of the times Joe Strummer wants to start talking again to the audience, Mick Jones has had enough and just cuts him off. Sounds like this.
Bollocks, bollocks. Come on, you don't have to fake it. I mean, man.
Well, you gotta love the old Mick Jones joke. Actually, it sounded like this.
Yeah, anybody out?
I mean, there's also another segment where he literally starts belittling the idea of partying and how that's just lame. You don't do that in front of a bunch of people that are partying. it really gets to a point where it's like the USA is just so bored with the Clash, it starts to look like. And again, I mean, is this Joe Strummer not being able to read an audience and not being able to like get in the, or is this, you know, why people say that the Clash is the only band that ever mattered? Because everybody's trying to like get in this party thing or whatever, and he's the one trying to still bring up issues and social change and things like that. So whatever opinion, it goes either way, but either way, it was the last time the Clash would play together. They would exit that show, no encore, just walked off the stage. The announcer comes on and says this.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The Clash have left the building. The Clash have left the building. You needn't scream anymore, I guess. Oh.
So yeah, you get, that's what you get the last time the Clash would play. But hey, if the Clash pissed off, would you want them to go out any other way? Pissed off, hell with this, off the stage, no encore. That is a pretty cool way for the Clash to wrap it up, really, think about it. So then you've got all that going on. You've got Joe Strummer on the stage, kind of talking about some other bands.
Yeah, I suppose, you don't want to hear me going about this and that and what's up my arse, huh? Try this on for size. Well, hi, everybody. Ain't it groovy? Ain't you sick of hearing that for the last 150 years? Look, I know you're all standing there looking at the stage, but I'm here to tell you that the people that are on this stage and are going to come on and have been on it already, we're nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Can you understand that?
Okay, so everybody that plays the US Festival is nowhere. Well, the band that's going to play the next night is Van Halen, and so they come on. David Lee Roth, notoriously, reportedly, completely drunk from the get-go.
Wow, son of a gun. All right. I forgot the fucking word.
And if that's not enough, just keeps on drinking right on the stage.
I want to take this time to say that this is real whiskey here. The only people who put iced tea in Jack Daniels bottles is the Clash, baby!
Yeah, he said that on the stage of the US Festival 1983. But don't feel too bad, Clash, because he apparently he does that all the time.
You bet your fucking ass it's real. This isn't Quiet Riot, buddy.
Dude, you just played with Quiet Riot on the festival. Same day, man. What are you... Anyway, Van Halen live. If you have seen any of their old bootleg concerts, you know a lot of it's the same type of thing. A lot of him just walking around, pointing at the audience going, and then screaming, "Can you hear me?" He screams, "Can you hear me?" 13 times in this concert. But they give Van Halen a lot of credit. It is a long, long concert. They do not shortchange the audience at all. And of course, since it's Van Halen in 1983, Eddie Van Halen, top of his game. Alex Van Halen, top of his game. You got Michael Anthony, top of his game. And then those harmonies all still happening. And then, you know, so David Lee Roth has all that leeway to just run around and be drunk and crazy and forget all the words. It's still a great concert because you have those other three guys putting on an incredible show. So Van Halen versus the Clash. I think in a war like that, you have nothing but winners. But they weren't the only ones, Van Halen, to sort of make comments on the stage. There was a lot of that all the next day and even the following day.
Thank you. Nobody twisted my arm to come here. I'm here because I want to be here. When we first arrived here in your country, I tried to explain to people and we were not just another English fashion band passing through. Firstly, could I say we're an Irish band, all right? We plan on being here for a long time, forever maybe.
Yeah, what he said. And then you have the gratitude of the aforementioned Berlin.
And I'm Terry. I will never forget this, ever. Thank you.
So a lot of different music and a lot of different attitudes on the US Festival 1983, but isn't that what makes a great festival? Check it out. It's in my playlist. You can watch the whole thing. Just click on the playlist. It'll start playing for you, and it won't stop for hours and hours and hours, and you can see and decide for yourself who won the Clash and Van Halen battle. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos. I usually do videos more about vinyl records, so if you're into that, you'll definitely want to subscribe. Please leave a comment if you've seen the US Festival, especially if you were actually there. I definitely want to know all about that. I'm Robert Fifth, and once again, thank you so much for watching.
I just want to say that as of right now, this time tonight, more people have been arrested today than the entire weekend last year, man.